Hello Year 8 and welcome to your Wednesday or maybe Thursday lesson, depending on your timetable. Today we have got such a fun thing to do. You are going to be making your own indicator to use at home. So while you're writing down your title and writing that it's lesson 51, underline it, write the date. Also have a look at this picture down here. We've got some household items and I want you to just be thinking, which of these are acids and which are alkalis? Do you know some already? Are there any that you're not sure of? Have a little think. You don't need to write it down, just think about it in your head. Okay, we're going to come back to our items at the beginning in a second, but first of all, let's think about acids. These are some properties of acids. Strong acids are what is called corrosive. It means that it can eat away at metals, stone, and even flesh. So if you're ever using a strong acid, you've got to be really, really careful not to get it on your skin and to wash it off if you do. Weak acids, like lemon and vinegar, taste sour. So acids tend to have a sour taste. And acids contain hydrogen, but not everything that contains hydrogen are acids. So here are some examples. We've got lemons and limes, fizzy drinks, even tea and vinegar. Those are all acidic things. And now on the other end of our scale, we're thinking about bases and alkalis. You might see these words used, bases and alkalis, because an alkali is a soluble base. What these are is they feel soapy to touch. They can burn the skin just like acids can. In fact, people tend to think that acids are just the dangerous ones, but alkalis can just as easily damage skin if they are strong. Alkalis contain hydroxide ions. So acids have hydrogen in, but alkalis have hydroxide, which means that it's hydrogen and oxygen together. And they tend to taste quite bitter. Bitter is a taste like kind of dark chocolate or coffee. That's a bitter taste. Alkali things are things like cleaning products, baking soda, indigestion tablets, toothpaste, soap, and wasp stings. Indigestion tablets is a good example because if you ever have indigestion or heartburn, it's actually caused by your stomach acid. So you take indigestion tablets, an alkali, to neutralize that acid. So let's go back to our objects to begin with. Now we can identify what these are. So going left to right, we've got bicarbonate of soda, that's an alkali. We've got lemon juice there, that's acid. Vinegar is acid. Orange juice is acidic. Lemon juice is acid. Toothpaste and bleach are alkali. Cleaning products tend to be alkalis in general. And at the end there, Coca-Cola is acidic. That's why you can't drink too much of it and why you should always brush your teeth if you've had any fizzy drinks. Now, you'll probably remember in class using indicators to actually show if something is an acid or an alkali. And the indicator that we tend to use is what's called universal indicator. That is when you get the red colours for acid things and you get purples for alkali. In the middle is neutral and it is green with universal indicator. However, we're not going to use universal indicator today, we're going to use something else. The reason we're not going to use universal indicator is because, unfortunately, we weren't able to send it all out to you. And actually, proper pH indicator solution or paper is quite expensive. And we can make our own. We can make it very, very easily. You can make your own indicator with things like certain flowers, certain fruits and certain vegetables. Normally, fruits or vegetables that have quite a strong colour, because that colour pigment is what is going to change colour when we add an acid or an alkali to it. So to do this today, I need a couple of things from your kitchen. It would be brilliant if you had red cabbage to use. I sent an email kind of saying that we were going to be doing this today. If you've managed to get some, brilliant. If not, don't worry. You can also use red onion. You won't get as vibrant a result as if you had red cabbage, but give it a go. And I'd like to see any pictures if you do use red onion, please, to see how it turns out. You're also going to need a knife and a chopping board. You're going to need a colander and a bowl. A colander is that bowl with holes in it so that you can strain something and let the water come through. And you are going to need some items to actually test their pH. Things that you will probably have at home that you could test are things like vinegar, any kind of citrus juice. So if you've got some lemons or limes or oranges, fizzy drinks, Water, just test some good old water and see what it is. Cleaning products and things like soap, toothpaste, and baking soda. If you've got anyone in your family that's a baker, or if you are, you might have some baking soda. It can be called bicarbonate of soda. Grab that. That's a really good one to test. But before we get started, of course, we are doing a practical science experiment, and that does have some risks. I'm going to let you know just very quickly what you are going to be doing, and I want you to have a think, please, about what risks there are in this experiment and how you can be safe when you're doing this experiment. So to do this, what you're going to be doing is cutting up your cabbage or your onion, whichever one you've got. You're going to be cutting it up using your knife and your chopping board. You're then going to boil it in water on the oven. And then you're going to strain it and collect all the water that you've boiled out. And you're going to use that to test all the different acids and alkalis in your house. So think about what's risky in that. Write down your ideas and write down how you can do this experiment safely. Pause the video and have a think about it. Here are the 3 main points that you hopefully have thought about. A risk, of course, when you're chopping up your red cabbage and red onion is knives and cutting yourself when you are cutting something up. So to do this, you've got to use a sharp knife. I know that seems counterintuitive, but a sharp knife is safer to use because you don't have to press down so hard and it is less likely that you're going to have an accident. So a nice sharp knife, make sure your fingers are well out of the way and have an adult supervise you, please, when you're doing this. Second risk is boiling water. You might burn yourself on that boiling water or scald yourself. You've got to make sure that the pan is on your stove securely. Don't have the pan handle sticking out into the kitchen because someone might knock it when they walk by. You've got to use oven gloves when you're moving hot pans. And again, have an adult supervise and give you a hand. And finally, of course, we are testing acids and alkalis. Irritants, they will irritate your skin and your eyes. So you've got to avoid contact with your skin and your eyes. And if any get in your on your skin or in your eyes, you've got to wash it out. So you've got to rinse off your skin, and if anything gets in your eyes, you've got to wash out your eyes underneath the tap. But luckily today we're using quite mild acids and alkalis if you're using the sort of examples that we've got, but just take sensible care, have an adult supervise you, and just move slowly and carefully and make sure you're being sensible. Okay, last thing to do before you can get going is, because we're scientists, we need a results table. We need something to write down what we find out. This is my results table because these are the things that I found in my house to test, but yours will probably be different. You might have found only some of these things. You might even have some extra things to test. So once you've gone into your kitchen or into your bathroom, maybe to find things like soap or toothpaste, have a look at what you've got and then put those down in your table. Don't necessarily copy mine. It's going to be whatever you've got. What's going to be interesting to see is we're very used to using universal indicator, where red for an acid and purple for an alkali. But if you have a look at this picture here, this is actually the red cabbage indicator scale, where you can see there's some differences here. Acid does tend to still be red and pinks as well, but strong alkalis will go green and then actually even all the way to yellow if you've got a very strong alkali. So it's going to be interesting to note that the colours that you'll see won't necessarily be the ones that you are used to seeing with universal indicator. So write down what you see, don't write down what you expect. Hello, Year 8, and welcome to our lesson all about indicators and how you can make your own at home. Now, before you get started, check your list and make sure you've got some things that you need. So hopefully, don't worry if you haven't, but ideally you will have some red cabbage to use. That's actually going to make your indicator. At-home indicators can be made from anything that has quite a vibrant pigment. So this one is such a beautiful purple colour. But if you don't have red cabbage, but you've maybe got some red onion at home, give that a go. Even if you've got something in the fridge like a bright coloured juice, like a grape juice or a pomegranate juice, they work really well as indicators. So you need your item that you're going to use to make indicator. You need a pot of water boiling on the oven. Now, obviously, Please make sure you're doing this safely. Think about the risk assessment that you've carried out to do this, and make sure you've got someone supervising you. Don't touch hot pans, don't do anything unless you feel comfortable doing it, and make sure you've got an adult around giving you a hand. And you need some things to test. These are things that I found in my kitchen. You guys know about indicators, so you know that we want to be testing things that are acids, alkalis and neutral. And you'll probably remember from our lessons on indicators the kind of things that you're looking for. These are things that I found, and we'll test in a minute to see if they are acid, alkali or neutral. I've got some fizzy water, some vinegar, a lemon, some other vinegar, some white wine vinegar. Might be a bit easier to see the colour because it's not got a strong colour. Some water, some soap, some antibac cleaner and some bicarbonate of soda. This is a really good one. If you've got baking soda or bicarbonate of soda, see if you can dig that one out, because that should give us quite a good result. And now, once you've got your stuff, we're going to have a look at how to make your indicator. Okay, so we are now going to cut into our red cabbage. Please make sure you've got someone to help you do this. Get an adult to help you. Look at that beautiful colour in that red cabbage. All of that pigment is what's going to help us make an indicator. Now, if you are deciding to chop with supervision, it's really important that you do it in a certain way, and this is how we can learn our knife skills. Now, what you want to do is use your nails to hold the cabbage in place. Make sure the flat edge of the cabbage is on the chopping board to give you a nice solid bit of purchase, and your knife should only be touching your knuckles, so it's nowhere near your fingertips. Absolutely nowhere near them, so there's no chance you're going to cut yourself. And what you're going to do with your red cabbage is cut it firstly into slices, and then if you can, just to make sure that we get as much of the juice and the pigment as possible, you're going to cut it up again even smaller. So what you're going to do is dice it. You want nice small pieces. While you're cutting your cabbage or your onion or whatever you're using up nice and small, I want you to just be making a prediction in your head as to all of your items that you've got, or that I've got if you're just watching along and you're not able to do this yourself. That's absolutely fine. Make a prediction. Do you think they're going to be acid, neutral or alkali? Make a prediction. Okay, once you've got your water boiling, what you're going to do is add just enough red cabbage to kind of fill the water. We don't want to overfill the pan. We just want it to go to the line of the water. You don't need a huge amount of water. You just want to make maybe a glass full of indicator, as though you're going to have a glass of water. That's it. So we've got our red cabbage in our boiling water there. Give it a quick little stir, pop the lid on, and what we're going to do is we're going to let that boil away for a couple of minutes. We're going to come back to it in a couple of minutes and see if the colour has come out of the cabbage and see if it's ready to use as an indicator. So as you're boiling away, you can very carefully test. Look at that colour. That's all the pigment coming out of the red cabbage, and that's what's going to show us if our solutions are acids or alkalis. Look at that. So we've had this boiling for probably only about 2 or 3 minutes at this point, and we're gonna leave it 1 more minute and then we're gonna use it and see what we've got. Okay, once your red cabbage or whatever it is that you're using, it might be red onion, has boiled away for about 5 minutes and you've got a nice colour in the water. If you're using red onion, the colour might not be as vibrant. Don't worry, as long as you've got some kind of colour there, this should work. Then make sure that you've got some oven safe equipment on. You've got your oven gloves or something to protect your hands when you pick up the pan. And this is an important bit. You're going to drain your red cabbage, but remember, it's not like draining pasta where you want to get rid of the water. You want this bit of water. This is actually what you want. We're going to get rid of the cabbage itself. So using some kind of
oven safe, heat safe equipment, make sure you're draining it into a bowl. You want to be using something like metal or ceramic, something that can deal with heat, not plastic because you might melt it. And what you should have left is a beautifully coloured indicator, and we're going to see if it works. Okay, now it's time to test. What I've done is I have just put a sample of each of these things in the dish in front. We've even got some lemon pips in there. We've just squeezed that lemon in there. We've got water in this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the indicator to each one and see what happens. So think about, what do you think your prediction might be for fizzy water? Do we think that's going to be acid, or do we think that's going to be alkali? Here is our indicator looking very, very purple. Something to bear in mind as well while we're doing this is the indicator that we've used in class has been universal indicator. Think about what colour that would turn with an acid or an alkali. Can you remember? If you're thinking that it would be red with an acid and purple with an alkali, you're absolutely right. But let's see what happens with red cabbage indicator. Oh, right, we've got a colour change there. It's gone from being a very dark purple to actually lighter and pinker. That's for the fizzy water. Let's have a look at this vinegar. This vinegar's obviously got a colour already, it's kind of brownish. Let's put the indicator in. Ooh, look at that colour change there. That's gone really quite pink. That's the malt vinegar. We've got some white wine vinegar here that I just dropped a bit of indicator in. Ah, we're going from purple to a pink colour. Now, lemon juice. If we weren't sure what the other ones were, if we didn't know if they were acid or alkali, can we remember what lemon is? Remember, acids have got a particular taste. They taste sour. So what we know about lemon is that it's citric acid. So this is an acid. Got a lovely pink colour there. Now, this one's water. Water, in theory, should be, what should it be? If you're thinking neutral, you're right. See what colour the water goes. Ah, so that one isn't going pink. It's kind of staying purpley, maybe a little tinge of blue. We've got some soap here, and you might remember about alkalis. Alkalis tend to be like cleaning products. Cleaning products tend to be alkalis. This soap's a bit green, it's a bit foamy. We might not get a very good result. Kind of hard to see what's going on. Let's have more indicator. I'm going to give it a little stir, which is going to contaminate my spoon. I'm going to get a new spoon. Oh, we've got a sort of foamy pink colour there, which is interesting. I'm going to rinse my spoon. Remember, just like in class, don't contaminate one acid or alkali with another, and never, ever, ever contaminate your indicator. This is the anti-bac spray, the cleaning spray. Oh, we're going pinky here. Oh, okay. And lastly, we've got bicarbonate of soda. It's like a powder. Oh, look at that colour. That's a definite colour change there. That's gone really blue. Bluey greeny almost. So if we have a look at all these, wow. We've got fizzy water, that's purpley. Vinegars, all of these vinegars and these lemon juices are this beautiful kind of pinkish colour. Water has gone blue. Our cleaning products have gone pinkish, which is a bit surprising. And our bicarbonate of soda has gone like a bluey green. I'd say for making an indicator, that is such a success. Look at all the different colours we've got there just from our household products. That's amazing. Keep watching, because we are going to show you what this indicator does show for these colours and how it's different from universal indicator. Have a go at making your own at home. And please, as always, keep showing us your pictures. Keep sending them in, because you guys are doing some amazing stuff and we love seeing your work. So send it in and enjoy and have fun and be safe. Do this safely, please. Right, I've got to say, Year 8, at this point, I'm just having fun. I was about to pour my indicator down the sink and I thought, no, that is such a waste. So I've put it in a big, shallow white bowl to really see some colour differences. And I'm going to squeeze some lemon in here. Look at that. That is amazing. So we're getting this really nice pink colour for an acid. Oh, that's amazing. Look at those colour changes. We're going to put some alkaline here now. We're going to put some bicarbonate soda. And you get that blue colour there. Let's add it to the acid, see what happens. That is neutralisation happening right there. Let's do some more acid. Should we do some vinegar? Let's do some vinegar, see what we get. Oh, look at that. Have a play around, guys. Take some pictures, take some videos. See what you can come up with. That is beautiful. That's acids and alkalis and science happening right there. Right, bit more lemon juice and then it's up to you. Go make something fun.
Okay, Year 8. So I hope that video made it really clear how you can do this. I hope you enjoyed seeing the results. Please have a go if you can. It didn't take me too long to do, so hopefully you can find a bit of time in your day to have a go yourself. I'd love, love, love to see any pictures or any videos even that you make with your indicator. You could see at the end there, that was like squeezing a lemon juice in, you can see the colour change. So anything that you can show us, especially if you get some really cool discoveries, would be absolutely brilliant. I'd love to see pictures of some red onion indicator as well, to see the difference between red onion and red cabbage. So send us in your pictures. I love seeing your work. And importantly, just head to Show My Homework for a very quick quiz on what we've done today. And enjoy, have fun.